Hey everybody, Mr. Snake Eater coming back at you with more Bible talk. Now, today's going to be an interesting video. I'm going to talk about subliminal messaging. Now, for those of you who don't know what subliminal messaging is, it is a message where your subconscious knows about it. Meaning, you know about it without knowing about it at the exact same time. It is a very unique process that are used to convince people or used to get people to buy something. That's how they usually work. And they're pretty clever about it sometimes, but other times they're pretty obvious. One such example of a obvious one is that they're trying to sell these hot dogs and they have a ketchup bottle pouring ketchup on it, but the ketchup looks straight up like a tongue. So, hot dog and tongue ketchup. It's not too hard to put two and two together. While in other ones, they're harder to notice. Like, in one there was this ice cube where a woman was giving a blowjob to someone, but it looked just like a natural formation in the ice cube. That's a more harder one to look at. And oftentimes when you look at subliminal messaging or think about them, you can oftentimes find out what you can oftentimes see them. Harder ones are ones that are in shows and TV and stuff that makes it harder. One example would be in the Disney movie Cinderella. How many of you know that? Now, I'm not going to go all crazy about Disney subliminal messaging because they've really gone down over the years, and to be honest, I'm a Disney fan, okay? Anyway, in Cinderella, there is a scene where the cat named Lucifer and Cinderella's trying to calm down her mice friend, and she says, Lucifer isn't so bad. Only they don't flat out say it. Oh heavens, no, they would never say that. They actually do hide it a bit. Like, they make it quieter to the point where you can register it if you listen closely, but you still register it subconsciously like that. Now, when you get into more advanced subliminal messaging, this is where you get into most TV shows. Now, in TV shows like American Dad and Family Guy, actually this is probably a good time to explain why I like TV shows outside of this country. A lot of them have subliminal messaging, especially with kids and teen stuff. Now, why kids and teens? They're easier to convince. When you're an adult, it's either you're too smart to be fooled or you're too stubborn to change. That's what it is for most adults. And American Dad and Family Guy do have a lot of subliminal messaging in them. Like in American Dad, the early goings of American Dad, there was a scene, actually tons of scenes, where Stan gives up his political beliefs in favor of the opposite parties. Now, he's a hardcore irrational Republican. Note the two words, irrational Republican. And oftentimes he is wrong. Now, what does that say about Republicans? That they are often wrong and irrational. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, nobody's really gonna fall for that. Oh, well, they do it. Here's an example in Family Guy. Now, this one is probably one of my favorite scenes, and I've never noticed this on my own. I haven't. It's sad. But it's the episode where Peter finds out he's mentally retarded, and well, it's hilarious. And he's like saying, now you see, Mr. Griffin, you're just above the line of mental retardation. Don't you mean under the line? The day I'm corrected by a retard. Ugh. Anyway, you guys remember that scene. In that very same scene, there underneath retarded is creationism. Now, I never noticed this on my own because I never really watched Family Guy enough to really notice it. I didn't notice it till I found a YouTube video that said, Family Guy says creationist is worse than retardation, then a smiley face afterwards. Now, and you know what's even worse? In the comment bars, you got a bunch of people that were just agreeing with it. I didn't even find one person who said, guys, it's a cartoon, get over it. I mean, just none. It just surprised me to see what was on that video. And it really bugged me too, because these people are literally being brainwashed, and there's no other way to put it, into believing creationism worse than retardation. And I've listened to creationist videos, they're not retarded. They do have logic behind them. Same go for evolution videos and all those other videos. Just give them a chance. I mean, if you're just going to believe everything you see on TV, it might as well just be a mindless zombie. Actually, that's something I don't like. Family Guy and American Dad, they're really democratic shows. I've noticed that. I prefer South Park over them, because at least in South Park, they'll mock everything. While in American Dad and Family Guy, they tend to really just mock Republicans. I mean, when George Bush was in presidency, they really mocked him. But now that Obama's president, they literally just treat him like he's a great president. Like, they don't even mock him once. I mean, the only time I've seen them even like make a joke about Obama being bad when Stan Smith, at that episode where Dan Smith embarrasses himself, and at the end he writes down people who give him bad advice in a dream, and he puts Obama down. That's the only time I've ever seen them actually do anything that would put Obama in a negative position. All the other times they always make it a positive position. In fact, the entire episode is actually pretty much just pampering to Obama's. Okay, before I turn this into an Obama rant, I should stop. Anyway, subliminal messaging is there, and look for it, and it's easy to be fooled by it. And a lot of the time, people are going to believe the subliminal messages. I mean, the Family Guy and creation is being worse than retardation. That is proof of that right there. I mean, I actually looked up the very same clip. I couldn't find the same exact video, but I looked up the clip, and in the comments section, somebody said creationism was way below retardation. And it just irks me because these people are literally just brainwashing people into hating something that's really just doesn't go with their beliefs. And you know what? That's another thing I hate about Family Guy and American Dad. You can say they're simple mockery, but they're not just mockery. I mean, they only target what everyone knows. Again, in South Park, they literally just make fun of everything. I mean, how many religions do they make fun of in South Park? I think they've already made fun of 5 in general, including my own. To be perfectly honest, I really don't care much about South Park making fun of them, because they just make fun of anything. But in Family Guy and American Dad, they really do make fun of Christian beliefs. And every so often, they'll go to other religions. You know, I think I've went off topic way too many times in this video. Anyway, subliminal messaging is out there, and they're using it for more than just to get you to buy stuff. They're using it to convince you of things on what to believe in, and you shouldn't fall for them. If you actually, I don't really even know what to say next. Be careful of what you watch, especially when it comes to stuff that's really for kids or teen oriented, because you will find a lot of subliminal messaging in it. And the reason for that is because it's easier to change teens and kids, because as I said, why have I said it in this take? Yeah. Teens are easier to change than adults, because when you're an adult, you either have the mindset of I'm too smart to be fooled, or I'm too stubborn to change. Usually the too stubborn one, but what you gonna do? I think I better end this video. See ya.